The 11th season of the Great River Shakespeare Festival opens this weekend in Winona. A number of special events are planned to kick off the season, as Lee Gundersheimer and Doug Schultz-Carlson from GRSF explain.
We're doing some theater, but we'll talk about WOW, which is Will's opening weekend. And we have a committee of very dedicated volunteers that have made this WOW weekend as WOW as we could make it. Opening night, we have a concert on the levee. We're partnering with Live at the Levee to have Annie Mac Band, which is a great soul band from Rochester, playing for an hour. And then we're going to have a little mini, I guess you'd call it a procession, New Orleans-style jazz procession, down Johnson Street to the Performing Arts Center. And the difference between our parade, if you will, and Steamboat Days is, while there are a lot of people watching Steamboat Days, we want a lot of people participating in our parade. So any families, any kids that want to come, kids of all ages that want to just be a part of a street parade, a raucous, wonderful, but safe, good time, then we're going to have, some alpacas in the parade. We have 10 Harley Davidsons. We have the Trester Trolley. We have the Wesley Methodist Choir. All of us, led by a jazz band, going down Johnson Street to the opening of Merry Wives of Windsor. After the wonderful production of Merry Wives of Windsor, then we're going to have a partnership with the city, and at the City of Winona Library, we're opening the doors. If you purchased your $10 WOW button, you can come to a Dancing in the Street party, how nerdy is this, at the library. So for the Shakespeare Festival, you come to the library to have a good time, and we'll have a cash bar, but we'll have amazing treats and sweets and wonderful food and dancing. Annie Mac Band will be moving from the levee to Johnson Street, and right at the corner of 5th and Johnson, we're setting up a stage, and you can literally dance in the streets. And that's just opening night. Then the next day we have the Jazz Festival. Then Dixieland Jazz Festival will be performing all day long. In the middle of the afternoon, we have a very special treat. You want to talk about Carlisle Brown?
Oh yeah, Carlisle Brown, terrific playwright and performer from Minneapolis, nationally known playwright, is going to do his play, a one-man show about a Vietnam veteran. And it has a lot of relations to Hamlet, the sort of psychological traumas that a person goes through after coming back from being in a war. But beautiful, beautiful play that he'll be performing right on campus. And you'll be able to see that before you go to the director's reception.
And then we have, again, if you purchased your WOW button, the director's reception is right after that, where you'll meet the directors for this year. And the food is just phenomenal at that party. And that's in the Crisco Commons at WSU. And then you go to opening night of Hamlet.
Yeah.
And so that's just the first 2 days. Then you have the following weekend the opening of Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. And again, if you're a WOW button holder, there will be an opening night party after Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead at the Carriage House. They're partnering with us. And so the lawn of the Carriage House and inside this beautiful old B&B will be having an opening night party.
Yeah.
So it's quite a WOW weekend, we think, this year.
It's going to be fabulous. And you get into all those events. You get your WOW button. You can get those at the office, and then you get into all 3 events.
Or at the box office of the theater and the day of the event. Right up to the final party, you can buy a WOW button.
Well, and in the middle of all of that, then we, of course, have the plays that are opening, which is the whole point. So Friday night, we'll open The Merry Wives of Windsor, which is, it's a great comedy. It's one of Shakespeare's great comedies. It's the return of the character Falstaff, who we met in Henry IV Part 1 a couple of seasons ago. One of Shakespeare's wittiest characters and funniest characters, and he is duped and tricked by these merry wives. These 2 women that he is trying to seduce end up tricking him. They throw him in a laundry basket. They dump him in the river. They end up dressing him up like an old woman and chasing him through the streets. All kinds of craziness happens.
And where is it going to be set?
The play is set in a town very much like Winona, right around the turn of the century.
It's pretty much Winona.
It's pretty great. Actually, on the set you'll see we have reproductions of some buildings from Winona that you'll recognize, which is really beautiful. Then Saturday night, then we open. Oh, and I should mention too that there's a lot of music in it as well. So it's going to be a terrific show for the whole family.
For more information about the Great River Shakespeare Festival, including free festival weekend events and ticket information, log on to www.grsf.org.